What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Darren. I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. I talk about fragrances as well as fashion on this channel. So if you're into fashion, if you're into fragrance, and you want to learn more about one or both of those subject matters, then I recommend or invite you to click subscribe and make sure that you hit the bell icon as well. That way, anytime I upload new content on the channel, you get notified. Quick style tip of the day. Like you guys know, I always like to, I talked to you guys before about how to match your pocket square and your tie. Try your best to never do an exact match, guys. A pocket square is supposed to be an accessory that pops and kind of gives your whatever you're wearing a little bit more character. Have a little bit of fun with the pocket square. But also other accessories are good to throw in from time to time as well. I'm not a big fan of tie bars, but some people like to wear tie bars, but also a nice lapel pin. This is something that was a lot more popular about 7 or 8 years ago. It really started to, kind of gain its popularity about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And not as many people do it now. It's not as popular then as it is now, but it is still a nice accessory to throw in there from time to time. And what I decided to do today with my lapel pin is kind of to play it off of the tie here. So you have a black tie from Tom Ford with polka dots, and you have the lapel pin that is black with the polka dots as well. And of course, guys, I kind of accented that with a pocket square that's primarily black, but also has some purple and lavender and white hints in it as well. So that's what I decided to do today. As always, the tie and pocket square are Tom Ford. I love Tom Ford for accessories. But guys, accessories are a very important part to dressing well. So guys, on today's video, I'm going to be talking about the perfect fragrance collection. This idea came from a subscriber. I was doing a live stream with Mrs. Bowtie, and one of my subscribers asked, how many fragrances do you need to actually have a collection? Now, in my opinion, that's really based on the person that's collecting. I mean, some people aren't huge collectors, so they're not going to have a very extensive fragrance collection. But I would say at least 5 fragrances would make a nice small collection. So with that being the case, I decided to do 5 categories, and I'm going to give you 5 recommendations from each category for my personal collection. Now, your choices don't have to be my choices. Like, everybody's mileage may vary as it relates to what they like, but I've decided to break this down again into 5 categories, and I have 5 fragrances in each category with 1 honorable mention. So there's a total of 26 fragrances. I'm going to run through these really quickly, not talking about notes, just want to break down what categories they are so you guys can understand how you can come up with the perfect fragrance collection. So with that being said, 25 fragrances. If you chose 1 from each category, you also would have the perfect fragrance collection. So I want to tell you guys the 5 categories that we're going to cover off really quick before we jump into it. The first one is your grab and go. You got to have fragrances that you don't have to think much about. For me, I also included, when I thought about these 5, fragrances that generally get me compliments as well. So these are fragrances I know regardless of where I'm going, more than likely, they're going to be fragrances that'll get me noticed, fragrances that are easy to wear. Most people like a mass appealing kind of sense. I don't have to think much about these fragrances. I just grab and go. The second category is office safe fragrances. So I myself work in an office environment. Now, you may work in an outside environment, so you may have to curtail this list. But in other words, fragrances that you can wear to work. And generally speaking, these are going to be fragrances that are as well easy to wear and very non-offensive. So I have 5 fragrances from this category as well. Now, the next category is going to be what I call my showstopper. So if I'm going to a black tie event or an event where I'm going to be dressed to impress, then these are fragrances that I reach for. Honestly, when I want to kind of smell better than anybody else in the room, and I know that I'm going to be the best smelling guy in the room, or want to be the best smelling guy in the room, these are 5 fragrances that I reach for. So these are my showstoppers. Now, the other category that you want to cover is your date night, close encounter kind of situations. We all know what time it is with that, so I'm going to cover off with 5 fragrances that are good for date nights or close encounters. And last but not least, I have 5 fragrances that are considered signature scents. These are just fragrances that I'm known for, some of my personal favorites from my collection. So you want to have that category covered as well. So guys, we're about to get into it. Like I said, the list is kind of long. I'm just going to kind of show you these fragrances and keep it moving because I don't want this video to go on too long. So if you want to see what's on the list, how you can build a perfect fragrance collection, then you know the routine, man. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this list. Like I said, I'm not going to spend much time on each of these fragrances because I got to get through quite a few. So let's just run through this really quickly. The first category that I want to talk about is the date night close encounter category. And my honorable mention for this category, and the only category on this list that has an honorable mention, is the date night category, and it's this right here, Dolce & Gabbana, the one, Eau de Parfum. The reason it's a honorable mention because it was really hard for me to narrow it down to 5 in this category, and this is still to me one of the best date night fragrances ever created. That orange blossom, tobacco, and ambery thing is just, it just works on a date night. It's very sensual and draws them in. So Dolce & Gabbana, the one, Eau de Parfum. Now, this first fragrance on this category, man, I'm not doing this, guys. I'm not doing this to y'all today. I'm not gonna do this, okay? This is unfair. This is unfair. This fragrance comes from the house of Givenchy, and this is called Allure. Guys, look at that bottle. Look at that bottle, man. This thing is so freaking sexy. This is a sexy fragrance, man. It has rose, chocolate, and strawberries. Need I say more? Definitely one that I would have in that category. It is super sexy, guys. I want to be doing a full review of this fragrance because it deserves one from the house of Givenchy. Again, this is Allure. The next fragrance in this category for me is going to be Angel Share from by Kilian. You guys know how much I love this fragrance. It's just extremely sexy. Sweet fragrances tend to work really well in date night scenarios, and you guys know all about this fragrance right here. That cinnamon praline combination and cognac is just to die for. So Kilian's Angel Share is definitely one that I would keep in my collection for date nights. Now the next fragrance is this right here from Christian Dior. It's called Ombre Nuit. Ombre Nuit, a sexy kind of powdery rose fragrance, man. If you never put your nose on this, you gotta put your nose on this. You guys, do yourself a favor and check this one out. This is a sexy fragrance as well. That definitely makes my category of date night fragrances. And then I'm also going with this one right here, Kilian Straight to Heaven Extreme. You talk about the sexiest cedar wood. Oh my God, cedar wood and rum kind of fragrance, man. This stuff right here is crazy good, man. If you haven't been watching this channel, or if you haven't watched the channel, I should say, and you've seen the missus reaction to this fragrance every time I put it on, this is the fragrance she wanted me to wear for Valentine's Day. This stuff is good, man. So another one in the date night category is Kilian Straight to Heaven Extreme. And last but not least in this category, man, I had to put this one in there, Noir Extreme from Tom Ford. Again, very sensual fragrance. The coffee in here, of course, that kind of sweetness that comes from the coffee accord in here is just to die for. Again, it's kind of woody, it's nutty, it's slightly sweet. But man, again, you get some nice florals in here as well, but it's not too powdery and not too sweet where, you know, most guys would feel like they couldn't pull this off. It is the perfect date night fragrance, man, and one of my favorites in my entire collection. So to close out the date night category, check out Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. Now the next category that I want to cover off on, I have 5 fragrances from this category. These are just my signature scents. These are fragrances that just kind of speak to me and who I am, and really, like a good signature scent does, it just complements my personality well, my style, personality, and the whole 9. These are 5 of my favorites from the house of Roger Dove, Burlington 1819. Guys, this has become one of my favorite fragrances because it's woody, spicy, and it's luxurious all at the same time. And again, this is just the kind of scent that really speaks to me. Everything about it speaks to who I am. So that's why I'm definitely keeping this one as one of my signature scents. The next one in this category is going to be Baccarat Rouge 540. And this is the Extrait de Parfum. Not much needs to be said about this fragrance. But just like creedaventus, it's one that folks have tried to duplicate over and over again because it's that good. And I just love everything about this fragrance, the way it performs, the way it comes off of my skin, and the whole 9. So Baccarat Rouge 540 would definitely be one of my signature scents. Then of course this one, guys, Oud Wood. Oud Wood, man. Oh my God. Nothing needs to be said. You guys know how much, if you watch my channel for any amount of time, how much I love this fragrance. and how much the missus love this fragrance on me. So that's one of my signature scents. So much versatility with that fragrance. You can do date night with oud wood. You can do work. You can do anything with it, honestly. But that's definitely one of my signature scents. And this one has come up lately and recently here too as one of my fragrances that I would put in this category. And that's Blessed Baraka from the house of Acqu Di Gio Profondo. And this thing right here, again, this is a signature scent, but I just love the way this stuff smells. It's so freaking sensual and sexy, man. You have that cinnamon thing going on here with sandalwood and musk. Woo, my God. Check this one out if you haven't before. Again, this is Blessed Baraka. And last but not least, this is like where I'm rooted at right here. Probably one of my first, well, not when I really got into collecting heavy and got into niche. This is like my first niche signature scent right here. I love this stuff, and you guys that's been watching for a while know what this is. From Creed, Original Santal. Original Santal, man, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. This always has a special place in my collection. Cinnamon, sandalwood, got some juniper berry in here as well. One that you have to put your nose on, man. I don't want to hear anything about individual. This is my baby right here. So this will be the last one to close out the signature scents. This is Original Santal. All right, guys, I'm gonna speed up a little bit and run through these last 15. But the office fragrances. Now, where in my on my job, I have to at least have on a blazer and a shirt for the most part. There are certain days where I have to wear a tie, and when I have to wear a tie, I'm going with this one right here for work. This is from the house of Givenchy, and this is called Pico Valladama. And this stuff is so good. Clean, soapy aldehydes, man. That's what this is. And this scent is absolutely phenomenal. Next fragrance. The next one is this one right here from Creed, and this is called, of course, Silver Mountain Water. I love this stuff. It is great for the work environment as well. You guys know all about it. And then this one right here as well. This is called Acqu Di Gio Profondo. Simply put, one of the top 5 designer fragrances ever created. Versatility here. It smells great. It's non-offensive. It'll get you compliments. It works in a work environment, and that's why it's on the list. The next one from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, a classic fougere scent, and this is called Masculine Pluriel. This honestly, and that's why it's on the list, of course, is one of my favorite work scents. This thing smells so good. It smells like a gentleman that's very well put together. That's what this is in a bottle, and that's why it would be one of my work fragrances. And then this one from the house of Amouage Diamant. Peony, plum, and vetiver. So it has that kind of sensualness that comes from the plum, the floral aspect from the peony, and then that groundedness comes from the vetiver in this scent right here. This is a perfect work scent. You talk about something that smells great and that's inoffensive, is this scent right here from Amouage. All right, so moving on to the next category here, guys, that I would recommend. These are my grab and go fragrances. These are very easy to wear scents, highly complimented, blah, 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 blah. But you gotta have these kind of fragrances in your arsenal, because when you have a collection, sometimes it's hard to figure out what to wear. And typically, when you're going back and forth, a lot of guys tend to reach for fragrances from this particular category, the grab and go, because you don't have to think much about it. So the first fragrance up is from the house of Chanel. You knew it was on here. This is Bleu de Chanel, and this is the Parfum Concentration. This is my favorite of all iterations of that fragrance. I love the more woody aspects that this one takes in regards to that in the citrus notes. The next one up, Lafayette Street. Guys, this is a bomb fragrance, man. You talk about highly complimented and easy to wear. It doesn't get much better than this from this fragrance right here from Bond Number 9, Lafayette Street. Amazing fragrance. And of course, I don't care how many lists I do. When I talk about fragrances that I would have to build a perfect collection with, this fragrance will never be left out from the house of Creed. That's creedaventus. I love this stuff, and you know, again, nobody can argue the success and the popularity of this fragrance and why. One of the best fragrances ever created, easy to wear, grab and go, and certainly this one right here fits that category as well from the house of Christian Dior. This is Dior Sauvage, and for me, I go with the EDP. The EDP is the perfect balance to me between, of course, the Parfum and the EDT. This is that sweet spot right in the middle when it comes to that collection, and so that's the one I would choose. And then last, a fragrance from the house of YSL, and this one is called Cabane. I love this one because you have the sweetness of tonka bean combined with that really creaminess that comes from sandalwood. I absolutely adore this fragrance. There may be some fig in here too. This thing just smells amazing, man. I know a lot of people talk about tuxedo, but this one is really good as well. So check this one out. Again, this one is called Cabane. All right, guys, and last but not least, this category. When I want to smell on top of my game, when I want to smell a little bit unique, when I want to smell honestly better than anybody else in the room, black tie events where you really have to be dressed to the nines. These are 5 that I would actually have in this category. And of course, number 1, Portrait of a Man, baby. Portrait of a Man. I gotta have this in here. Gotta have this in here because this rose and patchouli combination here is just crazy, man. It's not for everybody, but it's for me, and that's what this is about. So I would definitely have Portrait of a Man. This one right here from Roger Dove, Diaghilev. Diaghilev, but again, black tie, I'm shutting it down. I'm shutting it down. This is a beautiful fruity chypre fragrance right here, and it smells phenomenal. Period, point blank, end of discussion. So when I want to put it on, this is one that I would have in my collection. Now this next one is from the house of Louis Vuitton. This is Ombre Nomade. This is very daring, in my opinion, very masculine. This is rose, oud, and raspberry, and it smells heavenly. This is not for everybody as well, but again, I know when I go to a black tie type of event or an event where I have to be dressed up, nobody else is going to smell like this. Nobody else is going to smell like this because not a lot of people have the gall to wear a fragrance like this that is so bold and so polarizing, but it smells phenomenal. This says I own the room. So check this one out from the house of Louis Vuitton. That's Ombre Nomade. And then we have this one from MFK. Of course, Oud Satin Mood. Oud Satin Mood. This is my sexy rose oud combination right here. There's 2 varieties of rose in here. And I think there may be a little bit of plum in this one as well with that oud on the dry down. Oh my gosh. Next one. And last but not least on this particular category, this fragrance comes from the house of Amouage as well, and this is Jubilation 25. Jubilation 25. I do have a few fragrances in my collection that have kind of rivaled this and kind of given me a similar vibe or DNA. New York Intense from the house of Fragrance Du Bois. And most recently here, there's another fragrance that I picked up that kind of music for a while. That kind of reminds me of this on the dry down, but this is still my go-to when I am trying to absolutely shut it down, smell different, and smell unique. I grab this stuff right here from the house of Amouage. Again, Jubilation 25 is a classic. It's very iconic and for good reason. It smells amazing. It smells very unique, and it smells very luxurious. So to close out this particular category of showstoppers, I'm going with this right here, the ultimate showstopper from the house of Amouage. This is Jubilation 25. But all right, guys, that's it. That is my time, man. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video too long, so I just wanted to kind of show you what I chose for each category and give you guys an idea of how I would do it. Again, if you just chose one from each category, I think 5 will be a safe number to have a pretty nice, small, well-rounded collection. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren, the Bow-Tie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell absolutely phenomenal. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.